Thank you very much. Planning Commission meeting for January 14th, 2026 is now called to order. We're in the Ascension Parish Courthouse, 607 East Worthy Street, Gonzales, Louisiana, first floor. Item 2, roll call of members. All members are here and present. Item 3, Pledge of Allegiance, Mr. Jones.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item 4, introduction of staff.
Stacy Webb, Recording Secretary for the Planning Commission.
Jerry Carey, Information Technology.
Spencer Long, Parish Attorney.
Eric Poche, Director of Planning and Development.
Sean Schroe, Engineering Review Agency.
Tim Bullion, Senior Planner.
Okay, thank you very much. Item 5, Chairman's comments. Chairman has a few comments tonight. First off, thank you very much for each one of you taking your time to come speak to us tonight. It has been a long time since the Planning Commission has had the public come out and exercise their voice. Tonight's meeting, we're going to have decorum, we're going to have professionalism, and we will listen to your comments. We ask that you be professional, we ask that you be polite, and you give the members who choose to speak, the people who choose to speak, their 3 minutes allotted time, and that you hold any negative comments and you hold yourself to be responsible adults, as we all are. I'll give one warning if there's an issue. Second warning, we will either terminate the meeting or we'll have the gentleman over there in the uniform escort somebody out. But we were going to have decorum tonight where we respect each other. So thank you. Item 6, public comment on any agenda item. If you would like to speak on any item on tonight's agenda, please see Ms. Stacy and fill out a card, and you will be given your time to speak in that agenda item. Item 7, staff report. Mr. Eric.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You see in front of you, Commissioners, the January 2026 normal monthly subdivision report. Any changes have been noted with an asterisk. If anyone has any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Okay. Any questions from the commission? Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Item 8, engineering staff report. Mr. Shawn.
Just no report this evening.
Okay. Item 9, the minutes. Approval or denial of the minutes of the December 10th, 2025 Planning Commission meeting. Motion to approve by Commissioner Villa, second by Commissioner Jones. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That motion passed. Item 10, a public hearing to approve or deny the following family partitions. A, Connor Bro property, lots X2A and X2B, Earls and Associates. Mr. Falgood.
Yes, sir. Good evening. James Falgood, Earls and Associates, representing the Bro family on the following family partition, asking the commission for approval.
Okay. At this time, we'd like to open up a public hearing on this. Ms. Stacy, has anybody signed up to speak?
No.
Public hearing on this item is now closed.
Make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Nasser.
I've got a question.
Okay.
It looks like that driveway going back to that, I guess that's the southern property there, is gonna have to cross a ditch. Are they gonna be able to access back to that property? Is there a
Yeah.
bridge or something there?
They're gonna have to put a culvert across the ditch to get to the back.
And just, okay.
Yeah. They're actually access the property anyway through the east side of the property.
Okay.
So,
But there is a way to get back to, I don't want grandpa
yeah.
back there.
Yeah, you can
not
see the
having a way.
driveway existing, get the mobile home to the house up in the front. There's the existing private servitude on the east side of the property, which is what they will be using, but we
Same
have to
thing as
dedicate a
putting
30-foot on the
culvert
other
on that
side. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay, point of
I'll
order,
second.
we have a motion to approve.
No second.
Second by Commissioner Miller. All in favor or discussion? Aye. Any opposed? That motion passed. Thank you. Item B, Hicks Bax property, lots 1A and 1B, McLean Taylor. Good evening.
Ellen Jackson with McLean Taylor Incorporated. with family partition, asking for your approval.
Okay. This time, we're going to open up a public hearing on this item. Ms. Stacy, has anybody signed up to speak?
No.
Okay, the public hearing on this item is now closed. Any comments or questions by the commission? We have a motion to approve by Commissioner Jones, a second by Commissioner Kluwat. Is there all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That motion passed. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Item C, Eddie Morgan and Jared Morgan property, tracks 6Z1A through 6Z1E, BM Aguilar and Associates LLC. Good evening.
Good evening, Brian Aguilar, with BM Aguilar and Associates, here to present a family petition for my client, Mr. Eddie Morgan, asking for your approval.
Okay. At this time, we're going to open up a public hearing on this. Ms. Stacy, has anybody signed up to speak?
Yes.
Okay.
Randy Fisher.
Okay, please come up, and you will be given your 3-minute allotted time. Please state your name for the record, please.
Randy Fisher. I just want to clarify a few things related to this family partition. This is actually listed as property for sale as 5 different tracts currently on the market, which I don't know why you would do that if you're doing a family partition. And there are some major concerns as a resident who lives at the end of this street where this partition or these tracts are located. We currently have a 1-vehicle road system with no bus access, no turnaround, the inability for 2 vehicles to access any of these properties in opposite directions. It is a safety hazard. We don't have very good road maintenance at this time. At one point, this was considered a private road and was not a public road, from what my understanding is. And so there is very, very limited resources where 5 tracks, 2 cars per house, delivery drivers, trash, all of those different things are going to be passing there. So there are some major concerns related to the drainage and the access to this property. And then there have also been lots of enhancements or removal of trees, groundwork that has all been being done prior to any of these hearings. So there are some concerns that this family partition may turn into more residential, small neighborhood, extend past just family land usage. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, Ms. Stacy, is anybody else signed up to speak?
Nicole Jowdy.
Okay. Good evening.
Good evening, Nicole Juti. I live a little bit further down down the street from this property, and I also have concerns with, if it's a family partition, why are all the lots currently listed for sale on Zillow by Keller Williams Realty? Like Ms. Fisher said, we live on a very narrow street. When one car is coming, the other one coming from the opposite direction has to pull over and get almost in the ditch. Over the years, the parish has come in and tried to widen the road by just adding asphalt to the sides, but that falls into the ditch. School buses do not pass where this property is located. The kids get dropped off by the stop sign at the corner, and the kids have to walk. There's no buses that go in and out of there. Like she said, garbage. And so that's really my concern, living a little bit further down the street. Every vehicle leaving this property will have to pass in front of my home, ultimately leaving us waiting on the side of the road for cars to come down the street. And for today, you've got one of these properties that's 5 acres, or right at 5 acres. What can you guarantee us down the road that this 5 acres won't be split into 1-acre lots? Mm-hmm. So where ultimately right now you have 5 lots, it could turn into many more because there is, the area. And I noticed today, the road going in and out of this property looks like maybe a large truck or something got stuck at the end. There's drainage issues down here. That's the second to last lot to the canal, from my home. That's the second to last lot at the end of the street. Drainage is a big issue as well, mainly transportation, because these vehicles will have to pass closer where I live, and we already don't have room for the cars that come in and out of that area. If you go down there, you'll see it's a one-lane road, especially when you get closer to where they are. At one point, it doesn't even look like it was blacktopped. It was just a rock road, one-lane road. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Denson Phillips.
Denson Phillips. I live at 9103 Pertree Road, which is, again, right up the road from where this property is being developed. My concern is traffic. That's been a major concern of mine over the years, trying to do something with our road. We kind of landlocked, you know, with the houses, the way they're situated. But I done a family petition several years ago, you know, and for my kids. And at that point, at time, you had to have it on a blacktop road. I don't know if the you know, the ordinances have changed through the years or whatever. As far as family petitions, I haven't read up on them, because this was kind of a blindsided deal, because a lot of the work went on without being permitted or anything like that, you know. So, but I would definitely have a great concern seeing a family petition that supposedly you have lots for sale. That sounds a little bit more than a family petition to me. So I would ask that, you know, that y'all would deny this family petition.
Thank you.
I have some cards in opposition that do not wish to speak. Rachel Bordelon, James Bordelon.
Oh.
You didn't have that marked off. You can speak.
Yes, please.
My name is James Bordelon, and I own the property that is exactly next to the Morgan property. I want to remind you all that all the work that was done back there was done with no regards to permits or following procedures. They've added a road in from the front of Pertree Road all the way to the back of our property. It's about 2.5 foot tall. There's a culvert halfway between Pertree Road and the pipeline. It's a small culvert. The culvert is set too high. The whole front of my property now floods. The backside of my property, where the road continues to go past the pipeline, there's a culvert in the back. That property all holds water now, and it's because of the road that's put in there. And just to add to all the others, the road is substandard. You have to pull over. There's no room for people to get in and out, and it is for sale. Family partition, that's for sale. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jeremy Juti, did you want to speak? Okay. Brett Landry. Colby Gotro, and Sheila Phillips. That's it.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mary Amon? Okay.
Hi. Good evening.
So my address is 8320 Pertree, which is actually right next door to the property that's being developed. So at first, the realtor wanted to actually use my property to show that property as it was for sale before they tore any trees down or anything like that. And I was going to approve that. Next thing I know, I can't get in touch with the Realtor, and they start cutting down trees, hauling in dirt. And I now have what I consider a road right behind my property, which was not there before. That dump trucks have been going up and down there, bringing in dirt, cutting down trees. They even tore down or cut down some of my trees along the property line. I own 3 feet on the other side of this ditch that's kind of between our properties. All my trees are gone. I have no privacy back there. And same thing as what they said, the road is too narrow. You're talking about at least 10 extra vehicles coming down there, not only accessing the road, but accessing this road that they put directly behind my property. And again, you know, it's family land, and they're selling it, so I'm not sure how it's a family partition. And as far as I know, I looked on the Wildlife and Fisheries website, that is considered all wetland property. I don't know if they got any permits from the parish or from, if there was wetlands delineation done, there should have been permits obtained for that, where if you knock it or take a tree out, you should plant another tree somewhere else. I don't know if you're familiar with that. And I don't know how they're going to determine the floodplain now that all this extra dirt has been brought in. And they have also leveled out what was the levee right in front of that property, between their property and the river. And that's all I have to say about that. Thank you.
Very much. Okay. This time, the public hearing is closed on this item. Mr. Aguilar, would you care to step up, please? We have some pretty concerning things that have been brought up. Would you please care to address those items?
I don't know the history on the property. I was brought in after a lot of this was done. I did notice that there was a spoil bank along Bayou Francois that's been existing for a long time. From what the landowner told me was Ascension Parish went in there and dredged the canal one time and built a large berm. And what he did is he went in there and knocked the berm, leveled the berm off. And when he did that, he actually put some fill in the flood zone. At that point, he asked me, I'm also an engineer, he asked me to come up with a fill mitigation plan, which we did, and we mitigated about 2,000 yards of dirt that was placed into the flood zone, the floodplain, from the dirt from the berm, and also the dirt that he brought in to build the road. Some of that dirt was hauled in. We accounted for all that dirt. That fill mitigation plan has been approved through the parish. And when we finished with that operation, he simply asked me to do a family petition based off of what he inherited. There's 3 brothers here, and they wish to divide this land up amongst themselves and 2 of their children. I did notice there was a culvert placed underneath the road where a ditch used to run through there. And the guy who did the dirt work called me and asked me, along with Eric, asked me to go out there and look at it. When I was there, I got pictures on my phone. When I was out there, there's a ditch on both sides of the road. It drains to the culvert. And I will say that it was dry when I was out there. There was no standing water. It's been a fairly dry fall for us. And I have not witnessed the site after a rainfall. But it appeared to me that the ditches were dug. The culvert, if we placed, I don't think the culvert can be placed too much lower, because there's a culvert that goes out to Bayou Francois, and Bayou Francois, this land may be two, maybe 1.5 feet above the elevation of the water, Bayou Francois. So anytime does get a rain, it's basically a swamp back there. Mm-hmm. Anytime you get a rainfall back there, it tends to hold water. It's a swamp. Mm-hmm. And I don't know anything about the wetlands. Like I said, a lot of that land was cleared, dirt was moved before I was even called to work on this project for Mr. Morgan.
Okay, thank you so much. Real quick, and Mr. Poche, I just have a few questions real quick about this. Number one, and actually it's a statement first. The family partitions, just for the people out there to know, it is essentially a way that a family can split their land, it is a division of land. That's that's by definition what our family partition is. It's one way we grant an easy variance for families to split their land into manageable lots. And we have rules in accordance to how they split those lots. What those individual lot owners do with their land after that, they can decide to build, but they can immediately sell those individual lots, and there's not necessarily a time frame associated with that. Now, I may be wrong, but
Well, one thing I would like to add to that is that in 2015, the rules were changed. Once those lots are sold from a family partition, they cannot be divided again.
exactly. So I just want that little bit of clarification given to somebody that, you know, it may be a little bit of a misnomer. But back to this, Mr. Poche, they have some pretty big concerns. Can you address these concerns for everybody and see, you know, was this permitted? Is all of these things allowed? Is the parish aware of these items?
Yes, originally when they went in there, they tore the top off of the berm, spoil bank, and pulled it into the floodplain. The parish was not aware of it. We were notified of it. We went out. We got code enforcement involved, and he was issued a fine and required to get a permit and to mitigate that fill, and he has done so.
Okay. At this point, we have some questions by the commission. Commissioner Miller.
I haven't got to talk about this one in a while. 174026 D2. That road has to be, because you're going to, what, 3 or more lots, has to be 20-foot wide, 24-foot base, hard surface or gravel.
Yes.
Do we have dimensions on that roadway? Mr. Aguilar, you said you made some improvements to it?
I do not have dimensions on the
So we don't, is it a
asphalt
gravel
road.
road?
I'm sorry?
Is it a gravel or hard asphalt road?
Asphalt, Pertwee is an asphalt road.
No,
The road into the property is a gravel road.
Okay.
They will be required to meet those, they will be required to meet that specification prior to the issuance of any building permit.
Correct, yeah, I'm just asking because it has to be done, and it has to have the dishes on both sides as well.
Yes.
So any studies as far as drainage required, or because it's technically now in the subdivision?
Basically, when the division doesn't really have anything to do with the field. The field mitigation plan was done before the lots were applied to be subdivided. We have, as Mr. Aguilar stated, there were concerns voiced to me. I asked him to go out there, and that's something that we can stay on top of, because the parish does have the ability to go through and make someone provide positive drainage and to prevent them from shedding water on their neighbor. Otherwise, it would go under state law, and it would be a civil matter between the property owners.
That's my concern there, is now that they're individual, single-family lots, that the threshold for the drainage study is reduced. And so-
The drainage study, no, this would not meet that threshold, no.
and no off-site analysis or any of that.
Correct.
There is a concern there, and I hear what the people are saying there.
Yep.
Okay.
Mr. Nasser.
Okay, some of my questions were answered, but I might ask them again because I want to make sure I have clarity. What size are these lots in acreage?
Approximately we got 1.3, 2.9, 1.4. The actual usage of land is not that, because you've got Bayou Francois covers about a third of that land. The usable land, I would say, on most of these lots is about 1.5 acres.
Okay. And so by our legislation, Parish, this is a family petition. Those lots will not be allowed to be further petitioned in the future. Is that correct?
If the only way that they can be petitioned in the future is if the person who receives the lot through the family partition owns it and lives on it, and then he can do it. He could divide it to give to his children.
He's got to live on it for a certain period of time?
No. I mean, he has to, well, I mean, he's got to have his 3 years to make application.
Right.
But if anyone ever wants to divide the property, the person that received it has to live on it and donate it and do a family partition.
And there is no restriction on any time period between the time of petition and the ability to sell the property?
No, sir, none at all.
Interesting. Some parishes do have restrictions on the time. And Stacy, all the cards that you read, the names you read, they were all in opposition, just for clarity?
Yes.
The permits you address, the levy, was the levy of the Spal Bank, was that a parish asset, or that just happened to be sitting
No,
on that land?
basically, when things like that happened, back when that was done, when they dredged that, the property owner gets to choose whether he keeps the dirt or not. And so the dirt is there, so it belongs to the property owner.
And so the work that was done without permit, the property owner was cited, the
Mhm.
property owner's been fined, he's paid
Yes.
the fine, and I assume that code enforcement will be keeping a close eye on this going forward.
Yes.
Okay, that's all.
Okay.
And I'm ready to make a motion.
Okay, hold on. Any further
Just let me
comments
know.
by the commission? Okay, Chair will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to deny it. I'm not opposed to family petitions, but I'm opposed to this one. I'll make a motion to deny.
We have a motion to deny by Commissioner Nasser.
Second.
A second by Commissioner Miller. Any discussion? Okay, the motion is to deny. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 11. Item 11, we have a public hearing to approve or deny the following preliminary plat. A, Harvest Fields, MR Engineering and Surveying.
Good evening, Chad Stevens, MR Engineering and Surveying, 9345 Interline Avenue, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Chairman Chuck Snyder and fellow Planning Commission members, I'm here tonight representing the developer in this case, and we would move to ask for a deferral tonight, and we can answer any questions. Thank you.
Okay.
So do we need a motion to defer?
I just want to let everybody know that, yes, the applicant does have the right to defer. Since this item is with a public hearing, and everybody who has signed up, you will be allowed to speak. You can come up to the podium, you will be given your 3 minutes. The commission will not take any action tonight. We will not be discussing it, we will not be answering questions, we will not be discussing things with administration or the such. But you are able to come up, give your 3 minutes, and we will be very happy to listen to each and every one of you. So, this time, we are going to open up a public hearing for this, and we will be given your time to speak. Unfortunately, we do not have an answer on that. So that, just to give you an idea, excuse me, I will answer your question, but the deferment is at their application. They will be doing another application, they will be having another public hearing, they will have another advertisement, there may be more notices, anything else. So the public will be made aware when this will come back up before the commission. Yes, sir.
And I will clarify that we are asking for a deferral till February the 11th.
Okay. So we have a 1-month deferral is what they are requesting. So next month, you will likely have this repeated. So at this time, the public hearing is now open. You will be able to come up and give your 3 minutes. Ms. Stacy?
Jennifer Kinsel?
Yeah, that's me, but if we're not having the hearing,
Yes, ma'am. But, and just, I want to remind everybody, you can come up tonight, you can speak, and you can also speak at the next meeting. You can say it twice, you can say additional things. So this is still your time. You are allowed this time. Yes, and it will be on the record.
Good evening,
Good
gentlemen and madam. So I live at 40143 Cottonfield Avenue, and I only learned of this a week ago because there was a placard at the end of our street. So if it does come back up again, I'm interested in how we would be notified, because we got notified because of all of our neighbors on Facebook. So that's the first thing. I also understand that somebody said that they were going to do Cottonfield a favor by connecting our subdivision to this new subdivision that they're trying to build with 112 houses on it. We don't want that kind of favor. We're really concerned about the safety of our citizens. We have a lot of senior citizens, retired citizens, young children who ride their bikes from houses to houses. It's a very close-knit neighborhood, and we really worry about the safety. We also worry about the amount of traffic that 112 houses is going to pour onto Cottonfield. And Cottonfield is maybe 19 feet wide. There's nary a center stripe down this road. Buses come down that road 4 a day, along with 4 trash vendors, and you let the Postal Service, a UPS, a fluid truck, or any other delivery truck come down there, and you have quite the problem. So if you assume there's 2 cars to every one of these houses, and there's probably more than that, and they're not going to want to go out on 44, then they're going to come through Cottonfield. It's 25 miles an hour on Cottonfield, and I just don't want it to be the Cottonfield 500. And I just think that it's not safe, and the street's not built for that. So I would appreciate you taking that into consideration. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Please, look, I just want to remind y'all, we're going to have decorum. I understand everybody has appreciation. Please, let's just go through this. We want to hear you. Next.
Dina Lejeune.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name's Dina Lejeune. I live at 40074 Woodland Avenue. I came before this commission 29 years ago when Cottonfields was proposed to connect to Woodland Shire subdivision. And when I purchased my property 40 years ago, I knew that this was going to be my forever home for me and my children. The lots in our subdivision, as y'all are aware, are at least an acre lots. We have 60 lots in Woodland Shire. We only have 2 streets in Woodland Shire. And we've always, been worried once connected with Cottonfields about the additional traffic. They do have smaller lots, more houses than we have. We were told back 29 years ago that Cottonfields was going to have an exit provided and a bridge built so that it came out onto Bro Road. Came back, I must have been here 4 or 5 times back then. And as of today, there's still no exit going to Bro Road. So here we are again. I'm hearing that this Harvest Fields is proposing the same situation. So again, all this traffic is not only coming in through Cottonfields, they got to get out how? Through Woodland Shire. And here I am again. I am a commission notary in the parish. I'm a commission for election commissioner, and I am a small business owner here. And I respect my parish. I've made this my home. I am, at this point, y'all are familiar with the canal that runs on Causey Road to Bro Road and down to 929. Well, when it rains heavy, that floods. That has to be cut off, that bridge, because it's going over the bridge. The end of Woodland Avenue floods, and y'all have to close off people turning onto Woodland Avenue. It floods so far, I'm on the 4th lot in the subdivision. It comes up to my front yard. My backyard is a lake. I currently carry homeowner's insurance, and I'm not in a flood zone. And it's over $1,500 a year for me to carry this. But when am I going to flood? Is this the year that I'm going to flood? All these subdivisions have been built up and up and up around me. I am now, Woodland Shire is the bottom of the bowl. We are getting everybody's water coming in on us.
And, ma'am, I'm sorry. Your time is up.
allowed to be connected into our subdivision.
Thank you very much. For anybody else speaking, please speak into the mic. Please adjust the mic so we can make sure we hear you.
Carly Babin.
All right, I'm not a public speaker, so here we go. Good evening, my name is Carly Babin, and I live at 40339 Cottonfield Avenue. And I'm here tonight simply as a concerned mom and a homeowner whose backyard would directly border the proposed harvest field development. I want to be clear, I'm not an expert in planning or infrastructure. I don't pretend to understand all of the details, but I understand what it's like to raise children here, and I know what I feel is unsafe and unfair to my children and my neighbors. The plan would place 112 homes directly behind my home and my neighbors' homes, permanently changing the environment where our families live. This isn't a project. My neighbors will say, don't tell y'all it's in my backyard. That's not a good argument, but y'all, it's in my backyard. Ascension Parish is no longer the close-knit community that I grew up in. I've always been proud to say I was from here, and that is why I choose to raise a family here. Decisions like this are what drives your locals away. When established neighborhoods are asked to absorb large developments without adequate safety or infrastructure, it sends a message that the people who already live here don't matter. One of my biggest concerns, like I said, is safety. Our neighborhood has no sidewalks. My kids play in the yard, they play in the road. My dog is a dog. She loves to play. My neighbors know her, they bring her home all the time. School buses, kids riding bikes, scooters, my neighbors walking their dogs, they come and visit. You're adding traffic with 112 homes. That's 224 cars a day that will cut through my neighborhood. Another concern I have is flooding. The land behind my home currently just drains naturally. We have a little drainage that goes through my yard actually and into across the street, okay? The water will move a different way, and my backyard has a pool, may end up catching water. Many of my neighbors built these homes as retirement homes, expecting peace, stability, and security. This proposal threatens not only my family, who's a young family, but my neighborhood family who plan to spend the rest of their lives here. I'm just asking you to consider the people that currently live within this neighborhood, my kids, the parents, and our longtime residents. Don't approve a plan that puts 112 houses in my backyard. Thank you for your time.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Marshall Federick.
Hello, my name is Marshall Federick, and my biggest concern is this deferral. We'll come back February the 11th. We'll be able to do that again? How many times can you defer this meeting?
I don't have that answer for you.
I mean, we don't want to come here every month for the same thing, for them to just say, oh, no, we can't do it tonight, and wait till there's nobody here. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Gina Billiot.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Let me pull up my notes. Okay. Good evening.
Oh, hold on. Give me a second. Go ahead.
Make this bigger so I can see. Good evening, members of the committee. I'm going to speak to you on behalf of myself. I'm Gina Billiot, 40064 Cottonfield Avenue, Gonzales. I'm on the opposite end of this subdivision. However, it will affect me, my son, my family. I'm going to speak to you tonight about, for myself, sorry, I'm a little nervous. I usually am good at public speaking. Anyways, this is information from myself and a fellow resident who cannot make it tonight. And so some of this does not sound like me. But anyways, this subdivision cannot be legally approved because the access road through Cottonfield Avenue in the Woodlands, Cherie fails the mandated mandatory safety and mitigation requirements of the Unified Land Development Code. First, under ULDC 174032B, which you mentioned earlier, every subdivision must provide safe and functional access that does not create unsafe conditions or overload existing residential streets. Cottonfield and the Woodlands were built decades ago. They're narrower than current standards and were never engineered to function as collector roads for a new subdivision. And most importantly, the Woodlands has no street lighting at all. Most people in Woodlands walk on Cottonfield, especially this time of the year when it gets dark earlier. Unlit streets create reduced visibility, increase pedestrian risk, and slower emergency response. As an unlit aging residential street system cannot legally serve as a required access route for a new development under 174032B's safety mandate. Second, under 17406K, the traffic impact study must include a plan that offsets any adverse impact the development will have on parish roads. No such mitigation plan exists for the increased traffic, increased cut-through flow, or the safety hazards created by routing new traffic through an unlit subdivision. Third, under 17405L7, the Commission may not approve a plat unless the traffic impacts can be adequately mitigated. You cannot mitigate the fact that the access route itself is unsafe, substandard, and unlit. Because these mandatory criteria are not met, this commission has no legal authority to approve the plat. Louisiana courts are clear. When a planning commission acts in a quasi-judicial capacity, it must follow its own ordinances. Approving a subdivision without meeting mandatory safety and mitigation requirements is arbitrary, capricious, and contrary to law. Tonight is simple. I know we're not going to vote on it, but tonight is simple. Cottonfield and the Woodlands are substandard access routes. The Woodlands has zero street lighting, creating a direct safety defect. No mitigation plan offsets these impacts. Mandatory approval.
Yep, I'm sorry, your time is up. Thank you so much. I'm sorry, we have a lot of people. Yes, ma'am. Please, please, very much so.
Alex Giat.
Hey, good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the council. I'm Alex Giat. I live at 40399 Cottonfield Avenue. I'm a senior at East Ascension High School, and sort of through this whole ordeal, I've reflected on why I'm so fortunate to grow up where I have. I think about the times that I've ridden my bike up and down the street, running back and forth to my neighbors' houses, having a hayride for every Halloween. And it's no doubt that this plat poses a huge threat to that way of life for me and my neighbors. Connecting this road that gives direct access to Highway 44, which also will not be able to sustain the new traffic coming from Harvest Fields, is just reckless. It's dangerous. We have a very family-oriented residential neighborhood that is catering to a large population of retired individuals and school-age individuals. Buses and delivery vehicles will not be able to get through our neighborhood. So tonight I asked the commission to protect what has made you proud to be from Ascension Parish and what has made our neighbors enjoy Ascension Parish and have decided to stay here and to, when it is an option, to deny the plat for Harvest Fields. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Giat. Thank you very much.
Rowan Taylor.
And Mr. Taylor, there you go. Oh, hold on. I'm going to give you your full time, I promise you. You ready, Mr. Taylor?
Mm-hmm.
Go for it.
My name is Rowan Taylor. I'm 10 years old. I live in Cottonfield Avenue. I like living here because my friends live here. I got a bike for Christmas, and my parents let me ride by myself to visit my friends at the end of the neighborhood. I know they let me do this because our neighborhood is small and safe. I don't want the developers to make my neighborhood bigger. If the neighborhood gets bigger, there will be more cars driving through it. It won't be safe for me to ride my bike on my own. Every morning before school, I see a bunch of elderly neighbors walking and running for exercise. I don't think this will be safe for them either. So please vote no and don't let my neighborhood get bigger and busier. Thank you. Rowan Taylor.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. I'm sorry, I can't deny y'all on that one. Thank you.
Mark Taylor.
He'll have my vote.
I don't know how I'm supposed to follow the last two.
You can't.
And I left my phone, and I had to leave my phone, so my speech is in there. But at any rate, look, there's more things wrong with this preliminary plat than there are right. There's just, I don't think you're going to be able to put lipstick on a pig. This one just doesn't, for me, between the traffic impact, I think we can give you a month, we can give you 2 months, we can give you 3 months, unless you figure out a way to correct the intersection at Highway 44 and Germany Road. Until y'all can figure out a way to make that work, until you can figure out a way to make the intersection with Causey work, with no turn lane, by the way, until y'all can figure out a way to make that work. I say y'all, I mean the developer. I don't see how you can make this work at all. Not to mention, to me, the zoning, you got 70% of this plat is in residential medium intensity zoning. You got 30% that's in mixed use. And somehow you're gonna try to make 100% of that mixed use. Looking in the codes, I've been reading all the codes, greater than 51%, and if it's contiguous and you can try to make it the same as one. I don't understand any mechanism that's gonna allow you to do that, to make that entire thing mixed use. It feels as though we haven't learned enough from the flooding we've had and learned enough from the massive growth that we had in this parish, that we want to build a plat that's 25% in the flood zone. And then if you want to elevate, you're saying on the plat I don't have in front of me, it said something 13 to 18 foot in elevation. Wherever you go to build, you're going to have to build 2 foot above base flood, which is 16 foot. So you're going to have to be moving a whole lot of dirt. You're going to have to be disrupting a lot of different things, and it's all in the flood zone. There's a health, safety, environmental risk in doing this. We have a lot of elderly neighbors. We have a lot of kids traveling the streets. Just the traffic, 25% of the intersections in this traffic impact study failed. How are you going to fix that? I'm not anti-development. They have area behind the subdivision that is currently zoned residential medium intensity, that if you go in there and you want to build houses and make it conform to the current neighborhood that we have, then by all means do it. If you can meet all the rest of the standards and codes that are there, but don't jam 112 houses of high density in residential development right in our backyards with no mitigation, between the proposed development and the current residents. I don't see how that's going to work. I just don't. And I'll be more prepared to speak next time because I will print it out and I won't keep it on my phone. I appreciate y'all listening to me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tiffany DiBenedetto.
Hello, my name is Tiffany. I live about I live about a mile from the area on Fields Court. While I do not live in the Cottonfield neighborhood that everyone is speaking about, being close, I see the impact of what the traffic will do. I have a grave concern. I know there's talking about a connection between the existing neighborhood. I'm not sure if they've been talking about having an entrance and exit on Highway 44, but that's what I'm here to speak about. If they do intend to do that, where Highway 44 comes out is almost directly across from a major street that people use as a cut through between Joe Saverio and 44, which is called Burtville Road, that comes out catty corner. If you were to have an entrance right there, you almost would need to have a light because as the gentleman before me just mentioned, the four-way light at both Causey and Germany. And whenever you go down to, I forget the other one, 933, where the Vayans are, if I need to go to Joseph Ario to get to my son's school at Ascension Christian, I cut through on Burtville because there's no way you're ever going to take a left going on to Causey. And I forget that number. So I have concerns about that, the increased traffic. We recently had one of our neighbors almost died in a very bad accident right in front of the Satterfields, which is another development that's been built within the last 20 years. The amount of development that has been built since I've been in my house for over 21 years is insane. We now have the Ascension Parish School Board now drives the school bus down our street on Fields Court because we constantly were having 18-wheelers and everything else literally running through the bus stop sign. I was on the phone daily with the police asking them to come out to monitor that. I finally just started taking videos, and once I brought it to Ascension Parish School Board, they finally allowed the bus to come down our road because preschoolers should not be getting on a bus in a 55-mile-an-hour zone. Another thing, if y'all do continue to consider allowing this subdivision, that stretch of highway is still 55 miles an hour. I'm waiting for people to die in that section with the amount of traffic that we've got. I try and pull out on my street. People are still going around and passing people up in that 55-mile-an-hour stretch where you've got your Dollar General now and you've got subdivision all up and down the road. So I don't know if I'll make it to the next meeting, but I did want to speak and ask you, please consider the traffic impact because there's a lot of pieces on there. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Kenneth Wilkes.
Kenneth Wilkes. I actually live on Burtville, so that previous speaker addresses one of my concerns, that this is going to increase traffic on my road. However, my big concern is the way in which we plan for rainfall and water offset. I am a big data guy. That's what I do for a living. So I'm going to throw a bunch of numbers at you real quick, but they're all publicly available NOAA numbers. In the 1930s, the max three-day rainfall was 5.8 inches throughout the entire 1930s. Jump to the 70s, it's 8.8 inches. We go ahead and we jump to the 2010s, 17.5 inches. When we extrapolate that out by the 1930s, and I just did these numbers, we're going to be looking at about 25.91 inches for three-day max. If we're planning water offset and we're using historical models, we're guaranteed to flood. So my big issue is one of how we are actually modeling and how we are planning. And if you're about to put, an extra, let's say they come back and they say, oh, no, we'll just do 50 houses magically. Still, roofs don't absorb water. Roads don't absorb water. Driveways don't absorb water. Parking lots don't absorb water. We're seeing bigger and bigger rainfalls. I'm happy to come back and show y'all all of my data on this for appropriate planning, but we cannot be using historical models for future planning and offset. So if they're digging their little retention ponds and they're using models that are based off of 1990s, 1980s, 1970s rain data, everybody's gonna flood. You gotta fix your models before you even think about improving the drainage scenarios and building any more developments. Fix your models. That's all I've got. I'll be back next month.
Kevin DeLone.
Kevin DeLone, I live on Highway 44, 15398, right across from Old Hickory Subdivision. I got 2 houses there, okay? I drain all the old Hickory subdivision through my yard, okay? A heavy rain for 1 or 2 days, I get this much water in my yard right now. I've been there 37 years. I had to pay $10,000 to cross the ditch to get to my yard to drain old Hickory's water through my ditch.
Mr.
I
Brown,
had to pay
please
the
speak in the
$10,000. I had to pay the $10,000 for that because the parish wouldn't put me a ditch to cross. Now y'all gonna put this big old subdivision up there? It's like trying to flush a toilet full of shit, excuse me. But it ain't gonna go nowhere, because it don't go nowhere now. So if you put houses over there, all this water that don't drain now, it still gotta go drain over there with another 125 houses, or 112, or 50, or 25. It still ain't gonna work. You got a swamp over there with cows, and leave that. Make a playground over there for the neighborhood, maybe. Don't put no more subdivision, please. I get enough water, and drain that whole Hickory through my yard. I wish you don't do it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Polly Glover.
Good evening, Commissioners. Happy to be before y'all for the first time in a very long time, and I'm also happy to see you all, the public, here. For the public and the members that do not know who I am, I've come here from coastal Louisiana advocating on behalf of the coastal wetlands and in environmental conservation for about 4 decades. I'm here to support the people behind me, though, because I'm a lifelong Ascension Parish native. I grew up with a family that's been in this parish for 100 years, who've watched the development come. I'm going to hold most of my comments till we come back before the body in February, but I am going to put a couple of things before you. I've done some historical mapping looking at this particular tract of land, okay? We know that it was prior converted wetlands. We also know that, more importantly, it was converted to pasture for agricultural, farmland use. We also know historically that once we convert those wetlands, that water's got to go somewhere. And where's it going to go? I think the people behind me probably can figure that out, okay? And I want to reiterate that my concerns are their concerns. I'm concerned just as much as they are about the traffic and the quality of life, but perhaps my bigger concern is we've got a crisis with water retention and absorption, and it's happening all across Louisiana, okay? Ascension Parish is, by federal statute, the 21st coastal parish. Not that that really matters, because those wetlands are to the further south. I would request that the developer, at a bare minimum, just do a determination and see what's going to happen. Bring it in fill and pier and beam, we know doesn't go there, and it doesn't belong there. Change it to green space, don't build in the floodplain, those kind of things. But the rest of my comments I'll happily submit in formal record in February. It's great to see all of you again. Ascension, great job showing up. It reminds me 20 years ago. And I will move my schedule to be here before y'all in February. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Polly.
Joe Roger.
Good afternoon, Council. My name is Joe Roger. I built my house 30 years ago in Cotton Fields Avenue. I'm at 40250 Cotton Fields Avenue with these hands. When I built that subdivision, the developers promised me that when that subdivision was developed, everything was gonna be finished. Y'all trying to develop another subdivision, y'all never finished mine. Y'all promised me new roads after the last house was built. Nothing was done. It took me 2.5 years to get y'all to dig the ditches on my road. And they just got to it, a month ago. They did Woodland Shire first, okay? And now y'all trying to build more subdivisions? Come on, man, come on. I'm 61 years old. That's my retirement home. We got a bunch of neighbors that I live with. We got people that live in Hickory Ridge. You got people that live in Woodland Shire. Come on, man, enough development. Think about it, guys. Think about it. We have kids. I have beautiful kids that live across the street from me. These people are trying to start a home. We don't want no more traffic through there. The roads can't take it now. If I leave out of my subdivision, my golf cart to go to the cul-de-sac, I'll lose 10 pounds just riding my golf cart. The roads are that bad. If you don't believe me, send one of your boys out there. It's that bad, guys. I've been there 30 years. I built my house. Me and my dad and my brothers and my cousins built my house with these hands. Come on, guys, just think about it. I don't care what these developers say. I don't care what nobody else says. That is our freaking neighborhood. I've been there 30 years. I was one of the first 4 houses in that subdivision. Thank y'all. Please think about it.
Thank you.
Jason Cassard.
How y'all doing? Jason Cassard. Just want to say that I have lived in Cotton Fields since 1998, moving from Donaldsonville over here. One of the reasons why I selected that subdivision is because it was a dead end, one way in, one way out. I do believe, though, before we go on, that we do need to know how many times can they defer, because I don't want them deferring until finally no one shows up, right? I mean, they could defer tonight, and that took us all by surprise. What's to say the next time, if we got sufficient participation, they defer again?
I don't believe that the participation had anything to do with their deferment.
I mean, we had news crews in our subdivision. It was a pretty hot item. I mean, could we even get a reason why they want to defer, or is that just private, they hold that?
That's up to the applicant. But at this time, we're not asking the applicant.
Okay. I have measured our roadway. It is 19 and a half feet across. You know, looking at the new development, it was 27 feet from curb to curb with sidewalks. We have open ditches. I personally walk every day, just about every morning, every evening, unless it's 3 inches of snow or it's pouring down rain. I get out there, put my time in, and we all, the people who walk before dawn, have to wear flashing lights to help out our people that are driving, because, I mean, you're dodging in and out of driveways sometimes, I mean, especially around work traffic, right? I also know that people have a right to do what they want to do with their private property, but I don't, going back to what Mark said, as the plan is shown today, there's no way, right? I mean, if it was a couple of houses, 10 houses, it could probably pass, but the density that it is doesn't match anything around it to connect to it. And I just think it's a bad thing for Ascension. And even if we do connect this to Cotton Fields, when the parish overlays or widens 933, where's that traffic going to go? Right? I mean, from 44 to Airline, we're supposed to be widening that as part of the Move Ascension project.
Mm-hmm.
Or any other accidents, just we see the path for cut-throughs there. So I'm gonna hold my time and come back February 11th. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lisa Guidry.
My name is Lisa Guidry. I'm a homeowner on Cottonfield Avenue and have been so for nearly 20 years. I'm going to withhold the specific details that I was going to bring up until the February meeting resumes, but I want to be on record to note that as proposed, this development poses a catastrophic risk and cost to my and adjacent neighborhoods. I also want to go on record to say that the 7-day notice that most of us received was insufficient, although it may be to the letter of the law. In addition to that, one of the signages to alert residents was on a busy highway. That in and of itself presents a safety risk for people to stop and be expected to read that sign on a busy highway. This really poses a great risk to the health, safety, and well-being of an entire community, and it should be all of our concern. That's it.
Thank you.
Bill Guidry.
My name is Bill Guidry. I live on Cottonfield. I was here to ask you to deny it, but we'll move forward with that. Basically because it fails a reasonable traffic impact test, and it would significantly harm the health, safety, and welfare of the community. The traffic study fails at Highway 44 in the Germany intersection. Routing traffic through our neighborhood does not fix that failure. The proposed tie-in would funnel new traffic onto my street, which is a double dead end. This road was never designed to function as a collector or a through route. It's only 19 feet wide, and that's if you're measuring grass to grass. It's more like 18 if you're measuring between the paint, which does not meet the current 20-foot standard. Those missing feet matter when you exponentially increase traffic in a confined space. We have open ditches and no sidewalks. The street is not just a roadway. It is where our kids ride bikes, where our neighbors walk, and where families spend time outdoors. In many ways, it functions as our neighborhood park. Turning it into a throughway to bypass traffic that already exists on Highway 44 through our neighborhood is not the solution. It is detrimental to the health, safety, and welfare of my family and the others in the neighborhood. Also, 70% of this proposed development is in the RM residential zoning, yet the entire project seems to be built under the MU2 dense mixed zoning. MU2 allows for much smaller lot size and a higher density than RM, and adding density directly impacts my property value. Development should not come at the expense of the existing neighbors. Growth must meet standards, not bend them. When a proposal relies on substandard roads and zoning intensity that exceeds what the underlying designation allows, it is a clear signal that the plan is not appropriate as proposed. I respectfully ask that you will deny this, as it is written at the moment, in its current form, as it does not align with the zoning intent or the roadway standards that exist for the families who already live there. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you, Bill.
Adam Guidry.
My name is Adam Guidry, and I live
Mr.
on
Guidry,
Cotton-
please speak into the mic.
Oh, my name is Adam Guidry, and I live on Cottonfield Avenue, and
Wait a moment. Yes, sir, go now.
if this development, Harvest Fields, is connected to my street, it'll make it very difficult for me to do my normal activities, such as using my RC cars and riding my bike to my friend's house. Thank you.
Larry Powell.
Hi, my name's Larry. Sure as hell wish I'd had a deferral. I drove 6 hours to be here to stand up for my family and my friends here. Good evening, my name is Larry Powell. I live at the end of Cottonfield Avenue, adjacent to the new development. If you need to know how to spell it, my name's on the drawings. For record, I respectfully request that my full oral and written remarks be preserved as a part of the official public record of this hearing. This subdivision existed peacefully for more than 35 years. We've been fortunate enough to be part of it for the last decade. As I appreciate the opportunity to speak, I will do my best to stay in the allotted time this evening, but given the long-term and permanent impacts that this decision could have on my home, my family, my safety, my property rights, I respectfully ask for your patience if I go over my explain. I want to be clear at the outset. I'm not opposed to development. I understand the need for growth in Ascension Parish. However, I am here to oppose several items in this proposal, primarily the removal of an existing cul-de-sac in front of my home and its conversion into a through street. This connection is not essential. It creates significant and lasting impacts on our safety, our neighborhood, and our property values. First, traffic and safety. Cottonfield is a quiet, non-sidewalk neighborhood. Families walk the street daily. Children ride their bikes. My kids learn to ride their bikes in the street. Converting this area into a through street will fundamentally change how the road functions, turning a residential endpoint to a traffic corridor. Approving this proposal sets a concerning precedent. If cul-de-sacs can be removed and neighborhoods fundamentally altered after approval, no community can rely on the protection of its original design, nor the parish to stand up and protect those communities and their investments. The existing streets were never designed to handle the increased traffic volumes, especially cut-through traffic. With the congestions expected on Highway 44, it is reasonable to assume drivers will divert through our subdivision and exit on Causey. That traffic does not belong in a neighborhood designed for its local use only. It creates clear and safety concerns for residents who have relied on this for decades. Secondly, the quality of life, property values, and compliance with the Unified Land Development Code. Cottonfield has maintained its character and stability for over 35 years, including introducing a through street and adjacent incompatible development threatens that stability. Ascension Parish's Unified Land Development Code was adopted specifically to protect citizens, established neighborhoods, and long-term investment property owners. It is intended to guide growth in a way that is compatible, safe, and fair, not to place disproportionate burdens on existing residents for the convenience of new development. In this case, the proposed removal of the cul-de-sac and introduction of a through street appears inconsistent with those guidelines. The Ascension Parish Unified Land Development Code, Section 17.302, Guiding Principle 1F, specifically recognizes that incompatible development can negatively impact surrounding property values. Yet this proposal introduces both incompatible adjacency and unnecessary traffic in a long-established neighborhood.
Your time is up, sir.
Sir, I have a lot more to write or to read.
Yes, sir. We have your email, and it will be put in the public record.
May I close one statement?
Real quick, please.
I want to quote Nick Saban. Do your job. You have the playbook.
Do your job. Thank you.
Jamie Powell.
Good evening. Thank you for allowing us to speak tonight. My name is Jamie Powell. I'm a resident of Cottonfield Subdivision, along with my husband Larry Powell, and our two kids, Tommy, who's 7 years old, and Charlie, 5 years old. And I was here tonight to formally request that y'all deny this proposed subdivision. My husband and I purchased our lot in Cottonfield Subdivision in 2013. We began building our forever home on Cottonfield Avenue in 2015 and moved in 2016. We own the home in the cul-de-sac adjacent to the proposed Harvestfield subdivision. I stand here tonight not just for myself and my family, but on behalf of many of my neighbors who share deep concerns about the proposed to remove the Cottonfield cul-de-sac to provide access for new subdivision. Our neighborhood was intentionally designed as a quiet, low-traffic residential area with a rural feel. This is the reason we decided to purchase in Cottonfield subdivision. It was a place where we could raise our children, stroll them down the street when they were babies, take long walks while visiting with our neighbors, and let them ride their bikes around the cul-de-sac as they grew. This cul-de-sac is essential to that design and the character of our community. Removing it and opening our street to through traffic would fundamentally alter the nature of our neighborhood, turning what has been a peaceful and safe residential environment into a high-traffic corridor. We intentionally bought our property here because it was not off a main highway and, again, a low-traffic residential area with the Ascension rural feel. We have serious concerns about safety. The existing infrastructure was not designed to support the level of traffic that would come with the new development. Increased traffic and congestion would heighten the risk of accidents, endanger pedestrians, especially our children and our elderly, and diminish the overall safety of residents who walk, play, or bike in the area. Increased traffic flow also brings noise, speeding, and lower quality of life. But beyond safety and infrastructure, we strongly believe this would negatively impact our property value. Many homeowners choose chose to live here because of the low-traffic, quiet environment and the thoughtful design of the subdivision. This is not just our personal impression. It is supported in the Unified Land Development Code of Ascension Parish under Section 17302A1 line F, which notes that incompatible development reduces adjacent property values and states, for example, a small lot, high-density subdivision can depreciate a neighboring large lot residence. On the current Harvest Field subdivision, it has 4 homes backed up to my 1 home. Most homes in Cottonfield are half-acre lots.
Your time is up, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Phil McLaurin, did you want to speak?
I'll be right back.
You want me to bang it? In the absence of the chair, I'm the vice chair. I'll take over the meeting.
Phil McLaurin. I live at 40359 Cottonfield. I moved out here 25 years ago from Central. I carry flood insurance on the house because I lived in Central and everything flooded out there. I've talked to a lot of the neighbors. A lot of them don't even have flood insurance. If they put that subdivision behind my property right there, we're going to flood. And for those people who don't have flood insurance, it's pretty bad to have to fight the federal government trying to get your house built back, even when you do have flood insurance. So my main concern is that flooding and that street where that circle's at. And I say to deny it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jesse Mangia?
Is that, Stacy, you have more?
Now, the following are not in support, but didn't want to speak. Ray Mooch, Wanda Ward, Vincent Musso, Nick Connolly,
Oh, wait, hold on, Stacy. I'm sorry. Sir, would you state your name? You had filled out a card, sir?
Hello, my name is Raymond Mook, Ray Mook. I live at 40201 Woodland. I'm at the entrance to Cottonfield. I contracted, built my house back in 93, 94. At that time, I became friends with Al Robert, loaning him utilities to build the Pigeonairs and whatever. My friends in back of me who live in Cottonfield probably weren't aware of the fact that Cottonfield was an extremely contested subdivision, one of the first, as Al told me. I'd be working in my house, my neighbors would call me next door to a neighborhood meeting. We had 44 houses. Tommy Martinez was there. Oh yeah, and they were screaming and hollering about this new development on 59 acres, 64 lots, size is 100 by 243. And as we had these meetings, I was all for the development. And it went through. And as I told these people, I was from Baton Rouge, I've seen growth, and I've seen good growth and bad growth. And sure enough, our property values went straight up. And by the way, in regards to the exit that someone mentioned on Cottonfield going out to Bro Road, that was a stipulation for Al to get his permit. Then the hydrologist, and I talked with him myself, said, no, due to incremental raining, we already had a problem with the water flow at Bayou Black right there. And that was 30 years ago. And the point being is it's going to be even worse today. At one time, I knew everybody in every house back there. I spent a lot of time at the subdivision, meant a lot to me. I saw it come up from the bottom. I would motorcycle back there on a regular basis, observing the landscaping. It was so beautiful. But also, every time rains, I was looking at that, and I saw rain problems from day one in their front ditches, as well as the back. And that was beginning back in 94, and it's much worse today. Again, thank you so much, and I hope you'll, like they say, work for the citizens, not the developers. I'm all for good growth, good, responsible growth. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'll continue with the ones that did not want to speak. Nick Connolly. Bill Jones. Brad Revet. Nathaniel Bagwell. Margaret Bonacari. Julie Revet. Michelle Pansky. Billy Pansky. Corey Herzer. Jo Beth Fedrick. Denise Ortego. Daryl Abrams. Tony Ortego. Lisa Abrams. Jordan Semino. Brandy Petrie. Kaylee Vargas. Blake Babin. Sebastian Billiot. Sonia Guidry. Franny Gilliot. Jenny Herzer. Carmen Mangia. Steve Giat. Beth Wilson. Luke Stebb. Sorry, I'm probably killing your names. I can't really read the name. Harold Joyner, maybe? I don't know. Brenda Dumarel, John Dumarel. What's your name?
My name's John Demerell. I live on Woodland Avenue at the dead end opposite from Bro. Been living there since 2001, and we have a drainage problem on our end of the street. So as it was mentioned before, first of all, I want to say I agree with everything that's been said up to this point, and probably whatever's going to be said after, and I support all of it. We have two of our children that we raised. We have two of our children that we raised in the hood, and they like it so much they bought houses in there. One of them bought the house at the other end of Woodland, which is by the canal, which actually the canal goes through his yard. In a heavy rain event, the water gets so deep at that end of Woodland, they have to block it off. So now we down to one entrance in our neighborhood. Once the whole, and then we back up where we're at. We're like a toilet bowl down on that end. We don't drain until the whole neighborhood drains. And since 2001, the house next to us has had water in it once. Not a bad odd, right? But what more development, what you think is going to happen? Fix our problem before you add more problems. And that's all I want to say. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Daryl Fontenot. Callie Melgwin. Don DiBenedetto. Anthony Cal, I'm not sure. Chris Blackwell, Logan Milano, Deborah Calcun, I'm not sure how to say that name, sorry. Yvette Foisey, Cody Nakan, Mary Anderson, Delane Hathcock, Jim Hathcock, Nolan Hathcock, Madeline Hathcock, Grace Hathcock, Todd Evans, Glenn Melanson, Scott Ortego, Kim DeLone, Jody Falcon, Melissa Cassard, James Harrell, Henry Guidry, Larry Bro, Jillian Graham, Bonnie Poirier, Mary Ashford, and I have a few letters of opposition that came through email. Beth and Mark Wilson. I don't know if I called Julie Revet already.
You have.
Nikisha Times, and maybe I called Lisa Abrams already. I'm not sure. And that's it.
And Mr. Powell's, I think, right? Mr. Powell's, his email was in there too?
Yeah, but he already
Okay.
came up.
Okay, I just want to make sure his email was in there. Okay. At this time, we're going to close the public hearing. And since you pulled it, I can't give you a rebuttal at this time. So if you want to say something real quick to address that. But okay.
Wish me to if you don't.
You can address the question about the deferral, but that's it.
Again, Chad Stevens, Zimmer Engineering, representing the developer. He apologizes for the deferral. There was a technical issue discovered today with the application, which would have not allowed this to go forward. So that is why he asked for the deferral today, to correct that technical issue with the application itself. And so we will see you again on February the 11th.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. The public hearing is now closed. We will not have any further discussion on this. Mr. Poche, do you have a comment?
No.
Oh, okay.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Thank you.